Well, let's begin the same way we did a couple of days ago with Good Friday, when we said that he really died. There are some people who think that Jesus didn't die, but the weight of historical evidence, and of course the Bible's testimony is very clear that Jesus did die on a cross for us. But let's also state here and now that Jesus also really rose. And this may be more contentious. There may be more people in this room thinking, well, that's less likely. I can accept the historical evidence that Jesus died on a cross, he was crucified, but can we really believe that he came back to life again? Isn't that incredulous? Well, I want to say to you that this is not a fairy tale or wishful thinking or myth or legend or anything like that, but history. Not story, but history, like his death on the cross. I want to say to you that his resurrection from the dead, from the tomb, was real and physical and historical. It really happened. And that the evidence for it is powerful. His empty tomb, his appearances to a number of his disciples over many days in many situations, numbers, 1s and 2s, and even 500 at one point. And the evidence that his disciples were prepared to stick to that story to the bitter end, and it was a bitter end for pretty much all of them. All of this is very strong evidence, very powerful evidence that the resurrection really happened. When we examine the historical events around it, it's hard to come to any other conclusion. I'd go so far as to say it would take more faith to believe that he didn't rise than that he did rise. It doesn't take a leap of faith. It's not a leap into the dark. It's where the evidence leads. If it had not been true, if they had made it up, why would they have held on to such a lie when the going got tough? And it got very tough for them. A guy called Peter Kreeft said, why would the apostles lie? Liars always lie for selfish reasons. If they lied, what was their motive? What did they get out of it? What they got out of it was misunderstanding, rejection, persecution, torture, and martyrdom. Hardly a list of perks. That's what they got out of it. But they held on to it to the end because they knew it was true. So here we have what we call the linchpin of Christianity, the evidence of Christianity. The resurrection is treated in the New Testament, in the Bible, as the linchpin. As you heard me read in 1 Corinthians 15, if it's not true, you can forget about all of it. But if it is true, well, what it means is this, that it's all true. I mean not just the resurrection, but everything about Jesus is true. The gospel is true. Because you can truly trust a man who says he's going to be executed by the authorities and rise again 3 days later, and then does exactly that. So the resurrection has the effect of making everything true. That's a man you can trust, isn't it? That's a man you can believe in. That's a man you can follow. As Tim Keller put it, if Jesus rose from the dead, then you have to accept all that he said. If he didn't rise from the dead, then why worry about any of what he said? The issue on which everything hangs is not whether not whether or not. Let me read that again. The issue on which everything hangs. There's too many nots in this sentence. But anyway, the issue on which everything hangs is not whether or not you like his teaching or you like him, but whether or not he rose from the dead.